Welcome to Rugby Chat for yet another year.
Welcome to Rugby Chat. Obviously, it is not Paul Dwyer, it's Mike Kerr this week. I've taken the hospital pass to keep the show rolling while Auntie Paul is in Singapore, is it, boys? Hong Kong. Hong Kong at the Hong Kong 7. So, last text received, he was in deepest, darkest China, in fact. So, writing his script for tomorrow. So, tune into the ODT. Right, boys, I thought we'd get a couple of questions up and running early, get the blood pumping. Rugby orientated questions. So, first of all, let's introduce the guests. Probably the best thing to do. The High Priest of the Shark Illuminati, Lee Piper. Second choice.
Very generous, mate.
Second choice this week. Obviously, we were after Elgin, the coach, for a bit more rugby input, but you've stepped into the breach.
He was away picking up a player, actually, Michael.
Yeah.
So we'll probably touch on that a bit later. But yeah, no, he's away. So
good to have you here, Pipes. And Hugh the Face Tait, club captain.
One of the great coaches.
One of the great coaches. Baggage manager, clubroom painter, everything out at the Broncos this year.
Two I-seater wheels.
Two I-seater wheels. No, good to have you here, mate. Righto. So let's play a game at Kettle Park. Win the toss. Do you play with the wind or do you have it at your tail?
Go into it.
Pipes?
Well, it depends really, because even last week it's, does that southerly going to hit? Is the northerly? So, but normally I think you play into it.
Play into it? Good stuff. Post-match, you a big bot man or are you a handle man?
Jug.
Jug?
Yeah. Always a draft beer.
Draft beer?
Yeah.
Good man. Righto, Parker or Banks? Highlanders. Who do you go with?
Well, Banks can cover fullback, but look, Parker's an Otago boy, so let's run with it.
Yep. Face?
Pretty similar, I think, yeah. Twice as good local lad.
Yep, so you go with him?
Yeah.
Nice, good stuff. Righto, you're at Brighton Beach. You're there with the family. You hear someone screaming, it's Paul Dwyer, he's drowning. Do you A, look to save him, B, continue to build sandcastles?
I'd actually do C, just drive away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because they don't do sandcastles.
Righto. Here's a quick last one. True or false? You are not only impressed, but you admire what the Eels have achieved over the last 6 years. Not just as a team, but as a club.
It's a pleasant change from Dunedin, getting all the plaudits here.
True or false, Faith?
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. That's kind of you. Kind words. Right. So let's get into the round. One round down, few shots fired, let's be honest, few big scores, but I thought we should go through the results. Southern v Demons up on the high veld, big score, 51 zip. Andy Hunter's not going to be happy. Read anything into these early rounds, boys?
Tough to tell, I guess. Mike, with a few of those guys to come back into the teams, I think it's early. As the season draws on, injuries hit, I think that's really when you're testing your club depth. Kite struggled last year with no Prem 2 side, so it'll be interesting. They've got some young guys in there. They picked up a couple of guys from Otago boys. It'll be interesting to see how they develop. I wasn't surprised that Southern won the game. I was surprised at the margin of that.
Let's be honest, Ryan Martin's first hit out as a coach coaching men. He's not in Kansas anymore.
No. Knowing Andy Hunter, he will not be happy with that, and they'll be working pretty hard. So they'll be working. They won't do that again, I'm sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay, Eels 68, Pirates 6. Now, I thought the ODT writer got it pretty well in the paper on Monday. It wasn't a one-sided, I suppose, match. I think the game blew out in the end. It was loose and fast. There was some exceptional skills, I think, from a few of the Tyree backs and loose forwards, to be fair. But Pirates are not bad. I think Pirates, when it cuts up a bit, getting in around that main, they've got some big, tough forwards. Their depth will be the question. Can they get through that time? What do they have coming up from their junior Colts or their Prem Colts? Sorry, that big Prem team.
Yeah, look, I think you touched on it. It's all going to be about depth here, and I think you look at those, what you might call your bigger sides. They seem to have those guys coming through. So when they get injuries, yeah, it's tough, but they can cover them off better. And you saw that was a good example last year with Kite. They started the season, I think, on fire. I think they were leading after 3 or 4 rounds. As soon as they got into some difficulty, there was no Prem 2s to call on. Then they're calling on their Prem Colts guys. And I think we saw even in that first game you talked about, Mike, the difference between someone playing at first 15 level or even Prem Colts level, and then getting up against some of these guys that have been around a fair while. I think Dunedin Club Rugby, I said it last time I was here, is pretty strong. So I think until those guys get that gap, they're gonna struggle. So I think Pirates. I read that report with interest. Again, not probably surprised. I was surprised about the margin, but it's really whether these guys can cover injuries if and when they come along.
Sure. You reading?
I think you'd say every club's got a good first 15, as we say, but if you drop a couple of players, like Pirates played us last year, first game, Tim Costins broke his leg, they lost a bit of shape after that. If Hisa or Craig Miller starts dropping away, or Josh Clark gets injured, then there's a bit of grunt in their forwards, could be an issue.
Let's be honest, boys, it takes 40 good players to win a banner.
Yes.
And, that's it's reality.
Yeah,
that's why I think so much effort is being put into that Colts grade. Your Premier Colts team's such an important team.
Yeah, and I think you need 30, and even in those, and we may talk about it when you talk about positives later on, I think you need 30 in a team. So when you look to go, have we got a side? How many have we got? We've got 30. I'm in. If you've got 24 to 27, struggling.
Okay, game of the round, Sharks Hawks, probably the most aggressive teams in the off-season around recruitment. How did it go down, Pipes?
Well, I think one of them was very aggressive. The other one just did their best. Look, it was a typical first up game. I think both sides would have left there a little bit disappointed. Certainly Dunedin set play in the scrum with Brighouse, Anderson, Heather, Alex Ainley when he was on. He made a big difference. I think looked good. But Harbour attacking from deep and broken play looked really good. And it took till the 79th minute before Dunedin got over and scored under the post. They'll be happy to walk away with the 4. I think Harbour, probably given the recruitment they've done, will be a bit disappointed. But again, their season's a little bit funny because they look like such a great dry weather team, and yet their ground, as we all know, as the season cuts up, probably takes it away from their real skill base. I hear they've got 5 guys still to come from the islands, so let's just see how that goes. But they're going to be a quality side and right in the mix, Harbour.
No, Sir Lancelot, he's on a mission.
He is on a mission. He is on a mission.
Good on him. Well. Good on him. That's passion. Bookworms Broncos. What are we looking at? They face 45-17.
Yeah, not bad.
Go down.
Students look all right. They lost Josh Dixon early with a shoulder injury, but we actually won the second half. We got it a bit slow on our D on the first half, but we come back all right. So it was some positives coming out for us. So we're happy enough. Students look okay. They'll be there or thereabouts when it comes to crunch.
The little master Shane Flanagan got his hands on another Premier forward pack.
Happy days.
He knows how to win medals. What does he do? He goes to bed every night with about 5 or 6 hanging above the bed.
Yeah.
How did he have them looking?
They look all right. Yep. Same. I think in the key personnel, I know they're missing a few loosies at the moment as well, so they'll probably get a wee bit stronger. But Josh Jackson's key for them as well.
Yeah, so. I noticed. I think really good backs have a big influence in these early rounds when the deck's hard and fast. And I just know from the Eels game, it was a couple of those classy backs had a massive impact. Which, let's be honest, they come out of the game later on in the season. So, all right, boys. So as I kind of touched on earlier, pretty keen to bring a positive flow to the occasion today. PD tends to focus on the negatives. Let's start with you, Face, with a good positive story from the off season or something out of the Broncos stable, mate.
This year we're pretty happy down the way. We've got 4 lads who played Premier Rugby on Saturday. A couple of them had their debut, but all 4 of them, their fathers played for the club, Premier Footy. 3 of them actually played over 100 games for the club and their fathers. So all these 4 boys have come through our junior system, which is pretty rare for us in some regards. Benny Kwakwa, he played his 50th game at the weekend, and his father, who played well over 100 games, he presented his blazer to him. So that was a very good night for him and for the family, obviously. So.
Oh, no, that's brilliant, because you would be, I was going to ask you that question, you are a club,
Student
club.
In
Studentville.
Yeah.
Pretty tough to build that side around guys who are here 7, 8, 9 years.
So 4 lads that had played their junior schoolboy rugby with us to come up and play Prems is pretty good for us.
Oh, that's good stuff. Pipes?
Yeah, probably a wee bit the same in that we've got 6 guys in our side this year that were in the Marcos last year that won the championship, so we've always tried to do that. I think one of the positive stories, Mike, has just been, it seems there is a lot of young guys playing. And we're going to, Sharks going to have 4 Colt sides, albeit 3 of them are going to be in the junior grade, and the Hammerheads and the new side's called the Dog Sharks are pretty social. I think we're picking up numbers out of that hall of residence. I don't think that's going ahead, but I've talked to a few of the other lads at other clubs, and they seem to be getting good numbers as well. So look, I think for most clubs, if they can get guys out there who are playing rugby, and we had 120 Colts sort of register, you're thinking that's not bad. They must be coming from somewhere else. But I think there's real growth actually in that area. So I think that's been the real positive, that if we're getting more guys into rugby clubs, there's two things I like about that. One, they're doing something, and B, normally if their mates are looking after them, they're less likely to get into some trouble, which is better for Hugh.
True story. That's good stuff. Okay, so I'm getting the signal to wind things up quickly. That went pretty quick. So let's go through this weekend, boys. We've got GI versus the Eels at Green Island.
Eels.
Yep, I'll go with that. Hawks, the Bookworms, big one.
Yeah, this is. I mean, they've had a tough draw. They got Chucks first up. Now they've got Varsity. I'm going to run with Harbour at home. I just think they look good, but I'm shooting blind there because I clearly didn't see Varsity last week.
Yeah, I'll go Hawks. You hear big stories about their forward pack. I'd say they may outmuscle the students.
Yep. Okay, so Dragon Sharks. I've got a bit of a soft spot for the Dragons. I think they're a good story.
Well, you're soft all round, but I think the Sharks up front. Evans is back for them this week. He makes a big difference. Right. Renata at the back. They'll take some beating up there.
Okay, so we're up on the slope.
Yeah.
It's the same result.
Sharks, no Grunter, no Chook, no Baker this week.
Yeah.
So they'll bolt it.
Fair play. Okay.
So they'll could struggle, but they might get home still.
Magpies, the Rats, who we got?
Jack Hall Trophy. Magpies at home, aren't they?
Yep. Right, Owen. Probably, I think, game of the round. Broncos, Demons. Here and now, face. Do you make the top six?
Top six or top four?
Top six.
Yep, we're a top six team.
Good stuff. Good answer.
And
do we beat the Demons?
We'll beat the Demons, yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah, I think I'll run with Alhambra there to roll over Kyke.
Yep.
I think Kyke are going to struggle a bit this year.
Yep.
So I think the top six will probably sort themselves out. But I'll pick the Broncos.
Good stuff. Plenty of good rugby to come. But I thought I'd finish off the evening tonight just with a few. Paul talks a lot about the abuse he takes around the clubs, and I managed to get my hand on. Well deserved. Managed to get my hand on a couple of emails from last season. I'll read them down the tube to you here. Dear Paul, have you actually watched a game? How about you get off your bar stool at Wobbly's Bar, walk across the road and stand on the sideline for a change? Firing shots at us when you are not even at the game is not acceptable. We have tried to distance ourselves from you. Where are we here? Sorry, happy to refund your club subs if you would actually ever pay for them. Sorry, I stumbled at the end there. Lee Piper, club chairman, Dunedin Rugby Club, sent last year.
I'd be a lot more. Actually, that's Jack O'Day spends his time. Dwyer does complain a lot though. It's not been easy, and as I keep saying, the views of Paul Dwyer don't necessarily reflect the views of the boys at Shark Park.
Yeah, no, fair play. Last one.
Or the ODT.
Or the ODT. Or in fact, anybody else he's associated with in life, including his wife.
Fair play. Okay, last one. Dwyer, let's be honest, over the last few weeks your show has gone to the dogs. I have offered my time and input more than once now, and you seem to ignore me on every occasion. If you have not noticed, I am kind of a big deal, and at the end of the day, Rugby Chat needs me. I do not need Rugby Chat. You stay classy. Pin Crusher, #254. That's Rugby Chat for this week, and kids, if in doubt, run it out. As a final note, obviously Paul Dwyer, quite an abrasive character, takes a fair bit of pelters around the clubs, but I thought there's no better way than to voice your opinion than to send this to all of your complaints to his personal email. And if you need to, physical violence at the clubs in this instance is condoned.